All right, so we've got Utah State women's basketball junior guard Cheyenne Stubbs. Did I say that right? Okay, I saw it misspelled on, I think one of the documents I was reading said just like, it forgot the Y, and I was like, wait a minute, am I spelling it right? Wow. It's obviously one of the new players, coming into Utah State. So I asked this at Bridge, just how do you end up at Utah State coming out of, is it Canisius College? Is that how it is?
Canisius.
Canisius? Yeah. Okay. So how do you end up, you've spent your whole life on the East Coast, it was Florida, then in Buffalo, New York, finally coming out west. Have you ever been this far out west?
No, actually, I have never been on the West Coast at all, so this is my first time.
So just how do you end up traveling west, from that, East Coast, all that? How do you end up at Utah State?
Yes, pretty funny story, I would say, being on the East Coast my whole life, like you said. Coach K, I would say my recruiting process went very, very fast but slow towards the end. I entered the transfer portal as soon as it opened, and then I had many contacts from coaches and things like that, but just wasn't what I was quite looking for. And then, had phone calls here and there, but they sort of stopped, I would say, and slowed down. And then, one day I'm just outside, I'm driving, I get an email, and I stop, pull over, I look at the email, and it's a long, lengthy email from Coach K, and it says Utah, and I'm like, Utah? What? I've never had any thoughts about Utah ever in my life, but I read that whole email, and I quickly rushed home. I showed my parents, and I had texted Coach K, and she quickly responded back, and I think it was maybe either that day or the next day that I had a 2-hour-long conversation with Coach K, and man, I would definitely say she's one of the realest coaches to break it down, to be honest and just tell it how it is. And for me, that was something that really was like a green flag for me. And then just the conversation with her, it felt right to me. Sometimes if you know, and I felt like I knew. And then just for her to really take the time out and have a whole email written up, and just for it to be the head coach and I wasn't going through assistant coaches, it felt right to me. And then when I came out on my visit, it was amazing. I felt special, and I never really had that before, and it was amazing for me.
So you may have already touched on it a little bit, but you said you were looking for things, you weren't really getting it from the people who were trying to recruit you before. I guess what was it about that email from Coach R that, set off in your brain, hey, this is what I'm looking for maybe?
I would definitely say it was just her approach, but also what she was saying in the email. I came from a place that was more of not the right fit for me, and the environment wasn't it, and I knew what Coach K was really all about just right then and there, that she was about who you are as, a person, and not so much as an athlete, like that too, but when you want to know someone as a person, I think that says a lot about someone, instead of just, being an athlete. We're more than just athletes at the end of the day. We're human beings. So, and I think she was just a real person for that. And just to make me feel that home away from home feel, that's what stood out for me.
So just tell me a little bit about your game, who you are, what do you bring to a team? What do you expect to bring to a team?
I would definitely say I'm a silent killer type. I would explain my game as, I'm a scorer, and I want to win at the end of the day, and I want my team to be successful, and I want to be successful. So, I'm going to go score, and I'm also going to defend night in and night out, and I will also, attack and get my teammates open as well. And I would definitely say my presence as just being there and as a person, I would say, is what I bring to the team. And, I may not be the loudest, but I bring some energy, and I also help my teammates out too.
So you use the term silent killer. Is that just more of, you talk about maybe being a quieter person, silent killer as far as scoring a bunch, but maybe being quiet about it? Is that kind of where that comes from?
Yeah. When I'm on the court, I don't really think a lot, so I surprise myself with some things that I do sometimes, and because I'm just out there having fun. So I could have 15 points, but it may not have been amazing or the loudest, points out there. Sometimes I'll surprise myself, be like, wow, I actually had that many points. It's just it flows and it comes easy to me. I feel like I'm not really out there trying super duper hard, and I may be nonchalant at times, but I'm still gonna get the job done.
So you mentioned you never really been this far west, at least as far as Utah before. What have been your thoughts on Logan so far once you got to see it, and how does it compare to the East Coast?
I would definitely say it's a different vibe out here for sure. You know, it's from the East Coast, but I do love it out here. You know, for me, I'm a really big like nature person. Like when I'm home and stuff, I'll go to the beach or I'll go for walks. I really just like enjoy the scenery and just to be able to like wake up and you see the mountains every day. Like to me, that's something to be like thankful for. You know, like and everything. It's just a blessing to really be out here and just to be able to like clear your mind sometimes and just look up and just be thankful for like everything that's in Logan. And I would definitely say the community as well. Like to me, Logan's a great quiet place. I don't like it like too loud, you know, so I love it.
So what have you been able to learn about this team so far? You've had a few months trying to get to know each other, summer practices, official practices. What have you learned about this team so far?
Got a bunch of competitors, man. We love to compete. We were nitty gritty, down dirty. Like we love to compete, but at the end of the day, we compete, we win, we give positive touches. You know, just that reinforcement that hey, we're all on the same team here. We knock each other down. We lay on the ground, and Coach K has this thing where she says every time, "Help him up." You know, so we run over there and we go help our teammate up because at the end of the day, we have each other's back. And, you know, just I think the environment that we have here is amazing, the competitiveness and the will and the want and the drive to win. And I'm pretty sure all 15 of us will run through a brick wall for Coach K. And I think that's just amazing as well and very, very special.
So obviously something that kind of hangs over the program right now, not a ton of success in recent years, picked to finish last this year. How do you guys try and balance that? It's like, you know, those are previous years, this is us now. How do you try and balance kind of those facts together as trying to, you know, build a winning team this year?
I think when we all committed here, we all knew the reality. But at the end of the day, it may be tough trying to balance that. But, you know, the past is the past, and we're here now in the present. We are where our feet are. And I think, you know, a lot of people will definitely be surprised that this year when we are where we are at the end. And, you know, you could start at the bottom. But it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And being the underdogs, I think we got a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. So we're not out here trying to prove anybody wrong or anything like that. We're trying to prove ourselves right because we know exactly what we have with this whole new team. And I think a lot of people are definitely going to be surprised when we shock the world, literally.
So I know in high school, you're quite a bit of a scorer. From what I've read, you've had over 2,000 points in high school. What have you learn trying to translate that to the collegiate level, have that maybe, I don't know about similar level of scoring like 20 points per game, but what have you learned trying to translate some of that scoring to college?
Consistently being aggressive. Coach K wants me to be a scorer, and, she believes in me, and, I believe in myself, and I'm confident in my game, and I just want to consistently be aggressive and produce.
So, I asked Bridget about this number you chose. I believe you're number 4. You were number 24 previously. Is that like your preferred number? And I think it was Sky Miller who's number 24. You have to fight her for that and lost that battle? Like, what's the story there?
No, Sky won it fair and square. She committed before me. So, but, you always got to have a backup. So, I was number 4 in high school my sophomore and junior year. And, 24 is definitely near and dear to my heart. I'll always be 24 for Kobe, because I definitely look up to him, still do, whatever. But number 4 I got from Skylar Diggins, actually. I used to go to her camps all the time, and she's one of my favorite WNBA players to this day. And that's why I'm number 4. Yeah.
All right, so Utah State junior guard Cheyenne Stubbs. Thanks so much for having a chance to talk to you.
Thank you.